Okay, what do we get up to this week? Maintenance of the hedging, what's eating my trees, bit of pruning in the fruit trees, tunnel, installation, taking forever, slow going. Dog going crazy behind me. My bee course, where I'm going to put my bees. Right, so I'm sitting down here because we're considering put our hives here. My hive. Looking at this hedge line as somewhere to put the bees. Today is windy, and two of the most important things for keeping a hive is winter sun and no wind. So trying to tick those two boxes is a little difficult. If anybody has any ideas or how they've set up their hive or where they've put it, let me know. I'm thinking of the bottom of the field down here in the corner. I have a hedge put in. Maybe I might have to put some windbreak in order to help them along, but it definitely is the place for the sun. Originally we were thinking of the other corner, which is down there, but that's quite shady. I think that's a no-no. Stay tuned to see what happens with the hive and where it goes to. So I'm just doing a little bit of pruning this morning. These three apple trees at the top I put in last year, bit of an experiment, and I just noticed like this one seems to have three very large shoots going up. I think I'm going to take some off it just to bring it out more, and that it's at the moment it's going to reach for the sky, and we're going to have really high branches which we can't reach the fruit from. So I want them to be easily accessible. So I'm just going to do a little bit of fruit pruning this morning. Kind of contemplating taking out this main leader here because it has a shoot here which I'd like to establish, even though this tag is wrapped around it. My other little tree here is just a really nice shape, all going out together, so that's what I'm trying to aim for with the rest. So I'll pop you down and you can have a quick look. So as I move along, I have my two furry friends for help. Hello, are you going to say hello? Oh, this one and this one who's waiting patiently for the ball to be thrown. Just wanted to do a little bit as I go along. I've brought some posts here because I must put them in for two trees that are badly bending. Probably got a little bit of a wind, strong wind blowing at them. And you really want to say hello? Hello! And I'm also going along and just removing the brambles from this hedge line. All the little pink bands or hedge that we put in back at Christmas time, and already the brambles are starting to creep through the fence and strangle them a little bit. So there's a few things going on here, so I might pop you down on top of a post maybe, and you can see how we go. So just as I was doing my pruning, I noticed this. Something has been attacking this apple. It's a Katia. It's interesting because it's really high up. So I'm not sure what that is. Maybe hare, rabbit. I suppose a hare could stand up on it maybe. We do have deer in the region, but I don't think that they would cross through our fence. Now, I could be wrong. We haven't seen any though, so I don't think it's that. But that's my first sighting of something attacking the trees. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. So just while I'm still down here in this corner, I just wanted to show you, I have two trees. This one that's leaning, it's an L-star apple. I'm gonna have to stake. And also this one has just been caught by the wind. It's a gala apple. So both of those I'm just going to try and quickly stake now. I'll pop you on GoPro on time lapse. And there's my second post in. Actually, the post, I don't know what it's called, post banger, this red thing, is absolute godsend for posts in. When you're on your own and you don't have a husband to help you because he's working, it's ideal. So I'm just going to take a quick wander down the rest of the field, take you with me, because I have a feeling I saw one more little hedging shoot. Bring your ball, Roo! That was being attacked by something as well, similar to the apple tree. So now I'm just down at the bottom of the field. I'm just looking at these. Aren't they just fabulous? So lovely to see on the willow catkins. Yes, so this is the other one that's been attacked. The whole of the bark has been taken off. So, of course, the dog has to be in the way. Anybody knows what might have stripped the bark like that? I'm not sure what berry tree hedging it is. It's a bit difficult to identify now when there's no bark on it, but it's not going to survive that. Yeah, so anybody with any ideas, let me know.
Good morning, folks. How's it going? Saturday morning. Claire's gone off with my son Ashton to an airsoft skirmish. She'll be home in a minute, but well, actually, I know I should be home probably this evening. So I've been called in to help set up the Polytunnel. We have storms coming later in the week, and I think they're going to be here for maybe 2 to 3 weeks. So the onus is kind of on me to assemble this thing. It's quite, apparently when we ordered it, the guys said, it's from KSB Greenhouses, by the way, not sponsored. So everything you see is going to be how it is for a layperson to set it up. They did say it was tricky to set up, and they did offer a service, I think, for a couple €100. They'd send people out to assemble it. But me being the stubborn sort of person I am, I said, no, I'd do it myself. But now that I'm actually coming to do it myself, I'm like, I wish I spent a couple $100. But I'm going to persevere and see how it goes. The first thing that I did was to move them closer to the base. Now, even though there's a storm coming, today is meant to be really good weather. Sunny, which it is, but calm, which it ain't. So there may be some difficulty hearing me. The wind is quite strong. If I can, I'll turn the microphone away from the wind. I don't think there'll be much talking because it's windy, unfortunately. Maybe I'll do a voiceover and explain a little bit. But this is some of the boxes of screws and bolts. This is even more boxes of screws and bolts. More boxes. These are the ridge. I'm not sure what that is. And these are all various bits of frame. I would go so far as to say there's probably about 500 parts in this kit. So I don't think there's a good way of showing you this unless it's via drone. What the guys in the video suggested was to lay out the first frame on the ground, in this case the grass. And once we have that frame laid out, we will bolt it all together, essentially. So I think, yeah, you're not going to be able to see anything on time lapse. I think I'll just turn you off and turn you back on when I've made a bit of progress. Anyway, let me see. I haven't even opened this, so I got to see how difficult it is. I'll catch you guys later. How about that? Right, folks, how's it going? I have a sneaking suspicion you're having a better Saturday than I hope you're out enjoying the sunshine somewhere, because it is a pretty good day. I hope you're not assembling a greenhouse. This is about 2 hours later, would you believe, and this is all I've done. This is the front frame. The doors aren't even assembled. Polycarbonate isn't even assembled, just a frame. To say it's complicated is an understatement. I got one more of these to do, and then I have, I believe, 2, 4, 6, 8 similar ones. Like, this is the front frame, so there's a door assembly on it, but then I have 8 more of the exact same frames but without the assembly for the inside. I don't know I'm gonna make it today, but I suppose shut up and get going. Catch you later. Hey folks, I have no idea what time it is. Maybe about 3 o'clock. The first door took me, I would say, about 2 hours to do the first frame that contains the door. This one, I would say, took me maybe about 40 minutes. So definitely learning a few tricks. Hopefully I'll get through them a bit quicker. So the first package, you see disassembled up there, came with 2 door frames. And there's 1 interior frame, and I think it's a 2-meter greenhouse, and then the extras are like a 4-meter, 6-meter, and an 8-meter, which we have. So I think I'll build 1 more frame out of the rest of it, and then we see how we go. We'll see how long that takes. Good morning, folks. Bit of a late start this Sunday. We got absolutely hammered. Well, I say we, I mean I got hammered by those frames yesterday. So fiddly. There's like 800 screws and 800 bolts, and it just took so long. I suppose I started about 11, finished about 7, and I got like 5 frames done. So I'm not sure if I showed you this is what they look like when they're complete. Now, super stable, super strong, very happy with them, but super fiddly to do. And I don't know if you can see that, but like my finger has about 1,000 cuts on it, and that finger has to go into the joint to hold the nut, and you kind of tighten up the screw, and it's pretty messy. But anyway, it was tough going this morning. Let me just put this stuff down. See, where did I put it? Okay, today is the day that I was hoping for yesterday. Blue skies in every single direction except there. Relatively lovely day, no wind. Hopefully we'll knock them out. So as I say, I have 5 frames done, 3 internal frames, the front and back frame, which has yet to take a door. I got to do 4 more frames, and when those frames are done, I need to then put them in place. So there's some kind of connector pieces, then we'll have a super frame, and at that point then we're gonna screw them into the concrete with some anchor bolts. What'll we do then? Like, it would be amazing if we could get that done by about 2-3 o'clock. It's 11 now, so it's not likely. And at that point we can look at the polycarbonate. It has to be no wind to do polycarbonate. There's no wind now, the pressure is on basically. So I won't do much recording. Claire's going to come and help in a minute. She might put something on time lapse, and I guess we will see how we get on. There was a great star lapse last night. I hope you saw that. I hope you enjoyed it. It was amazing to see. Catch you later.
Oh, hello. Yeah, we could be mistaken for sunbathing in our field today, but we're not. We're finishing our polytunnel frame, which has to be the most fiddly fecking job ever. I mean, I could build a house before I could build the frame of a polytunnel. Look at these tiny screws, and I have 4 tiny little screws that have to connect this piece with this piece to end up looking like these ones on this one. It's absolutely insane, but we're getting there. Slowly, very slowly. Maybe it's slightly faster because I'm helping today. I wasn't able to help yesterday as much, so we're here.
This feels like I've been at it 3 times as long as I should. Yesterday, today, and I actually dreamt about this last night, so it really feels like I've been at it 3 times as long.
Hey, you know, I
It was more of a nightmare.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, I did.
You did? You weren't doing
did.
it though?
I dreamt we had something like an animal stuck in it. And I can't remember what it was. Anyway.
I'm underground actually because my back is completely banjaxed from yesterday. Completely bent. So I can just about manage it when I'm lying down, but it means access is not the best.
So this is kind of the issue, because we can't lift these up and put them on anything high because they're too big. So there's only one thing to do, and that's just to lie down and do it, which is why I have my jacket out. And yesterday though was an absolute killer because it was cold wind, north wind, no sun, showers.
And it was the odd sun.
Was there showers? There was showers. Today is much better. I mean, today is like a summer's day. You can see the mountain there. Kira's lying down herself there in the grass with the duck.
Sunburnt already.
So yeah, it's prime sunning yourself weather. but we're not.
However, no matter how much of a job this feels like, it's still a day spent lying in the grass in the sun. So it's annoying. Stop lining up. No, when it doesn't line up, you gotta fucking bend it. Oh shit.
Yeah, so these little pieces, these little I don't know what you call them at the top, they all have to line up with the holes, but sometimes you have to line up 2 sets of them together, so that just is incredibly difficult. And I don't even think, even if you, I suppose if you had a flat surface, might be easier, but the grass actually is a little bit more forgiving on the knees, so it's definitely better. The sun is unreal.
How am I going to do that now? Shit.
So yeah, so even if we put you on time lapse, you wouldn't see what we're doing. So it's easier just to,
until we stand them up.
Sort of, yeah, when we stand them up they'll look quite great. They'll look amazing actually.
Quite great, indeed.
And then last night all I was thinking about was that I'd have to put some kind of water system inside, and that I'd have to drill a hole through my wall somewhere to put a pipe through, because obviously all of the wall here will be covered by frame. We'll have a door either end, so maybe to put a hole through for our watering system would work. I have all of the topsoil in now, and I started to just map out 2 paths. This first load of grey here, which is just so lovely, it's like, it's so light, that's the horse manure, so I still have to just put that in, but that's very easy to use now because it's not heavy, or it doesn't seem to hold the water like the, I suppose it's clay topsoil that we have. So we'll do 2 paths down the middle. I think I have 80 and 60 in the middle for growing. That's the plan. Rob's done a runner. Kira's sunbathing. Give us a wave. Hello. And yeah, back to it really.
If you raised up ever so slightly, are you recording? Sorry.
All right, 9 frames ready. This one is the door, and we have another door at the other end, and then there are 3 more down here. So we've been crawling around in the wet grass for the last 2 days. Rob did most of it. I don't know how he didn't go nuts because it's so fiddly. This is the other door here, and then we've 2 more frames up there next to Rooney. Rooney's loving today because it's sunny, although the sun has just disappeared. So we're going to attempt to get the frames up now, standing on our base. So I'll pop you on a time lapse and hopefully we can get somewhere with this today.
The old batteries aren't really working it from the FCS, trying to drill through the concrete. So I'm pulling out my DeWalt.
Big guns.
The big guns, the corded one. And it's not a sponsorship, but we've been using this. You see it? It's a Blue Tea battery back, and it has solar, so we've been using it to run the caravan and to power the caravan. We haven't been using electricity out there, but rather than run an extension cable, it's a lot handier just to bring out the Blue Tea. I think we might actually keep the Blue Tea in here so we can have power all the time, just using solar. But we'll see more of that when it gets set up. Go for it.
Okay, so this is the potatoes. I've laid them all out, and I have a tray per variety, as it were. This one is my British Queens, which is kind of why I got sparked on quickly to get them out of the bags, because these are just sprouting goodo. I just wanted to make sure I got them out of the bags, because they start to grow through these bags. Oh my golly, there's one I missed. That's a British Queen, I think. Yeah. And then you can't get them out without breaking the sprouts off. So it's a pity then. So this is why I've laid them out. I'm not so worried about the chitting. From what I've read, it's not that important. But I just wanted to get them out of the bags and laid out so I know exactly what I have and how much planting I have to do. It's interesting. The British Queens are a really flowery potato from what I read about them. So we do love flowery potatoes. Most Irish people love flowery potatoes. So they're a nice one to grow. They're a main crop. Then the Morris Piper, which are these, are for everything. Roasting, chipping, mashing, whatever you want to use them for. They're a good all-rounder. Then my ones in the back there, which have a slightly pink tinge to them. Well, maybe not. Just make sure I have got the right bag. They are, yeah, slightly pink tinge to them. They are they're cur pinks, and they are what's known as, people like to call them, the Irish potato. So they're very, very popular here. Even though I don't, they originated from Scotland, I read, but anyway, they're good all-rounder again, for everything. Then I've got, so those three are main crop, and then this is my first earlies, which are called Duke of York. Duke of York are like a yellow sort of waxy potato, for salads. I think can be used for everything, but mostly for salads and things like that. And then my last lot here are the purple reins. Only one bag of those, actually. Would have been nice to have had 2 bags of those. But anyway, I don't think I've ever seen these before, so they'll be interesting. They are, again, a good salad potato and a good all-rounder, and they are second earlies. So first earlies, second earlies, and then the 3 here are main crop. So that's my potatoes. So that's them ready to go. And hopefully, they say here in Ireland it's a very popular thing that potatoes go in after the 17th of March, which is after St. Patrick's Day. After that, it's kind of thought that we shouldn't really get any more frosts, and so it's time to get the potatoes in. And I had my 2 little helpers, Losty and Toffee. Toffee's up here having a wash, sitting on top of the insulation. Right, yes. Have you anything to say, Toff? Nothing to say? Nothing to report? No, it's a wet day. So, gonna head out there now and have a look at finishing off this polytunnel. Not a great day for it, but what are we gonna do? We're only gonna get wet, so might as well just get it done. So this is where we got to last night. We got all of the frames up, all 9 arches up. And I have to go along now with my bars and just pop in the bars. Each arch has, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 bars that keeps them apart. So that's my job, just to get that done. We just happen to have a little bit of dry in between a massive amount of rain, so that's what I'm just trying to get done. So much rain that the inside of the polytunnel is filling up with water. But anyway, there we are. I've just drilled 2 screws in here, one here and one here. I drilled the holes and then I screwed in the screws. Rob showed me how to do it. We were worried last night because we didn't have this screwed in, even though the wind was actually coming from the mountain behind us. So we were kind of tucked in, and actually I looked out a couple of times in worry, but there wasn't even a shake off it. Our major problem is the wind coming from the mountain over here, which is west. So I'm going to keep going, put the bars up for you and you'll see those, and once we've got the bars up, Rob kind of knows what goes next. He's watched all the videos on this make of tunnel. We have all these bands, I know they have to go up. There's lots of screws here that I don't know what they're for. And then of course we have the polycarbonate, which is inside in the barn, because we were worried about that getting blown around the field. So I'll keep going here and we'll see how we get on. It is almost 7 on a Monday evening and I am off to my, I don't even know if you can see me a bit better now. I'm off to my beekeeping course. This is week 4. I'm doing it in Bantry with, I think we have maybe 6 others in the course, with a lovely guy called Jerry Cronin. I suppose, why am I doing this? I have always had a huge interest in honey. At home we never had sugar on the table. We never had sugar in the cupboard. So everything was honey. If you wanted to sweeten something, if you wanted to use it in something, if you wanted to use it in flapjacks, everything, it was always honey. Mum used to get honey from a local people who had hives near to us. And I was always fascinated by this. And I suppose because it was something that was always in the cupboard, we always used, I then brought that forward to my family. And as a result, Ash, my son, lives on honey. He will put honey on everything, and I suppose I try to steer them away from as much sugar as possible these days, and he's quite happy. Honey on everything. Kira used to be the same as well, my daughter. She, of course, not so much now, but still quite happy to have honey. And so we buy quite a bit of honey, and usually honey that's locally made here, which I actually, because we haven't been here that long, I haven't actually sussed out somewhere locally here that we can buy it. I know we had bought one from Timoleague recently enough in the local Super Value here, and also before that there was a very good friend of mine at work, and she used to provide me with some honey from a local guy down the road from her in Dungorney. So yeah, so it's something that we've always had an interest in, and so to have our own bees and have our own supply of honey, I feel could be just really interesting. Also, not only that, like, we have one native bee in Ireland, the black bee, on decline, and I think it's important that we try to keep this going. I think actually everybody should have a hive. You know, everybody should be using honey a little bit more than all of these refined sugars and whatever. So this is why I'm doing it. We're going to get a hive soon. I'm going to get the bees very soon. So it's all very exciting. So I just thought I'd tell you that, and I'll give you more information as the weeks go by. And as soon as we get the bees and the hives and everything. So yeah, so it's all very new. I've never ever had anything, had any involvement in this before. So I better go. Okay, back inside, and I just thought I'd just give a quick check of the seeds just to see if we have anything growing. These were just herbs. We've nothing coming up there. They could possibly do with a bit of water. I'll put the water in the bottom this time rather than spraying the top, so that the roots will grow downwards. Oh, look at this. We have rocket, salad mix and edible flowers up. Everything else still a bit dormant looking. This one, nothing. They're tomatoes. This is tomatoes, I think. Yes, nothing up here. And this one, nothing yet either. No, tomatoes as well. So just thought I'd show you that. Also, I have here, just in case you're wondering what these are, this is a pomegranate. When we were living in the Middle East, I actually happened to throw a pomegranate in the garden and it started sprouting, and we actually grew it. We didn't get any pomegranates off it, so I wasn't sure at the time how to go about that. So this has kind of inspired me to get going again with one. This will have to go in the tunnel, or maybe stay in this warm kitchen area. And this is a fig. This is the brown turkey fig. So very excited about that. My mom grew one of these at home and was very, very successful with it as a beautiful sort of small tree, I suppose, small shrub. She didn't have any fruit off it because it was outside against a very warm wall. I believe it probably needed a bit more shelter or heat to produce something, but hopefully we can. Again, either in here or the polytunnel. But again, anybody who has any information on these, open to, or has grown either of these in Ireland, open to all the info we can get about how to go about this. Back to the tunnel. There were absolutely horrendous winds last night. Didn't sleep a wink worrying about this. It seems to be that the only damage is that this side has come off, managed to free itself. Luckily we had the corners all bolted down. Also got a strong wind blowing in the middle here. So I just need to pull all of these back out. Hopefully I'll get these all fixed in today and we'll be looking a bit better. But yeah, it got a brutal bit of wind last night. So I'm going to set you up on time lapse and hopefully we get a bit more done on this. curtain is up of the polytunnel. It took a week to get this far. Of course, we weren't working on it every day. We had a lot of rainy days, as you can see, crazy mud everywhere, and everything that we put in was a muddy mess. But we're pleased with it, and we'll see how we go. The greenhouse came from, it's going to have polycarbonate over covering the whole lot, but the greenhouse itself came from KSB greenhouses or polytunnels in County Longford, and they have supplied this type, Arrow 3 is what ours is called, to the Aran Islands. So we figured if they put it on the Aran Islands, surely it'll be okay with the wind here. So we see how we go, but that's just a little bit of information about it. We looked at several companies. The customer service from KSB was excellent. They did say to us, do you want to spend an extra couple of €100 and have it installed? I possibly would recommend that to anybody, because this has been a difficult one to put together. Every little piece came as a sort of flat pack. So yeah, it's not been the easiest. However, I think it will be great. So yeah, that's the update on the polytunnel.